All right. Hello, everybody, and I am coming to you live from Reykjavik, Iceland, to introduce our 2024 lineup. And I'm here today with Andrew, my business partner and friend of more than 30 years, who looks like he's sitting in the middle of a vineyard.
You know, it's been a really, really, really rainy and cold spring here in Slovenia. So at some point behind me, it's going to look like this, nice and green. Right now, it's all like gray and rainy. So that's why I went with the green version of what we're going to see later on in the year.
So it's our international version of introducing the tours today. By the way, just as a fun little side note, I should have been on a plane right now, but we missed our plane home. So instead, we got a bonus night in Reykjavik, which is, as it turns out, pretty fun. And because of that, I am accumulating information to write a Reykjavik guide. So that's going to be something that I'm going to work on the way home. So you have some blogs to look forward to. But Andrew and I have more important business right now than talking about Iceland or vineyards, and that is to introduce our 2024 lineup. And this has been quite a project for us, hasn't it, Andrew?
Yes, it's been a long wait, and unlike Ted Lasso season 3, this one's going to be worth it.
Oh, hey, we haven't watched that yet. Don't spoil it for me.
You're not missing much. That's why I'm saying, don't worry, folks. I know you've waited a long time to get the tour launch, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I know everybody's been waiting. We've been getting emails. People have been talking, trying to figure out when we're releasing things. Our Patreon folks had first access. They've had access to all the tours for a few weeks, and sales have been going really well. And so now we have sales available for everybody out there who would like to join us on a tour. So I thought what we would do is just go ahead and go through the schedule. And Andrew and I are going to tell you a little bit about each of our projects we've been working on. There's some familiar things that you guys have heard about before, and then there's also some new things. So we're really excited to share with you all of the adventures we have picked out for you for next year. So let me go ahead and find right here where we need to be, and we don't need to be here. We need to be, oh, hold on. We need to be here. There we go. All right. So what you should now be seeing is my website. And on my website, we have just added a link today that will take you to 2024 tours. And if you go ahead and click on that, you will see our new schedule pop up. By the way, a big shout out to our friend Warren, who redesigned our website recently. So if you haven't been to my website in a little while, you should check it out. It's beautiful and it works really nicely. And we're going to have new blogs and new content here several times a month now. So we're going to get back to really taking care of the website. So our unique small group tours designed by experienced tour guides, that is still true. This year, I think we definitely have bumped up the level of accommodation and food. Don't you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I think like almost all the tours are stretchy pants, even if they don't have the stretchy pants icon next to them.
We need to come up with an emoji.
Oh, we do. We do have to have the stretch or like extra stretchy pants.
Yeah, exactly. So our tours next year are all going to be maximum 18 people, but that would be pretty rare, actually, that we would do 18. I think we're mostly aiming for what, the 14, 16 range. So 10 to 14 people. Yeah.
10 to 14.
Yeah. So if you're used to a traditional kind of mainstream tour, these are going to look a little bit more expensive to you, but that's because we have small groups, but also we don't have optional activities. Activities are all included. For example, the hot air balloon ride in Egypt is just included in the tour. So we don't do optional things. So when you pay that, you pay for taxes, tips, you pay for all of your activities, all of your entrances, a lot of your meals. So there's just a ton included in these prices, and there's no pricing fluctuation based on time of year. We also don't reprice things if something changes. So this is the price you're going to pay. And we have a ton of stuff included. You basically don't spend a whole lot of money once you're on tour, do you?
No, in fact, you probably don't have to bring any really money with you to exchange and get the local currency, because it's,
unless you're doing a lot of shopping.
Yes.
Which on
the
Morocco
you just bring your credit card.
Yeah, you might. All right, so we're going to go ahead and scroll down here and show you what we have on for this next year. So February, we are going to be doing India again, but this is a retooled India version. Ankita and I have been working tirelessly to try and come up with a little bit more elegant, slower paced India tour that would be really approachable and easy for people. We're going to be staying in these heritage properties, which are sort of former royal palaces and things like that. So really cool hotels, really nice hotels, and also just a little bit slower pace. So this is a great introduction to India if you've always wanted to go. It's focusing just on Rajasthan, which is that kind of central area that includes Delhi, which actually is in Rajasthan, but also includes Jaipur, Jodhpur. You're going to see the Taj Mahal. So it's kind of the classic India that you think about when you think about India. Udaipur, which I think is one of the prettiest places in India. So it's really like a beginner's India. And I think that it's great for anybody that just wants to get a taste. But if you felt intimidated about going to India, we're doing everything that we can to make it accessible. So that's what Ankita and I are going to be doing in February. You're going to need to come on that, Andrew, at some point.
I'm going to, especially if I get to stay in this place here that's in the photo. I mean, that looks magnificent.
Oh, that's a museum.
Oh, damn. Okay, well, shoot.
Anyway.
I'll still come though.
Yeah, so India is really a neat destination, especially if you can have it at a little bit more slow pace. By the way, Ankita has really cool things cooked up, like a Bollywood dancing class, and she's also a certified yoga instructor, and she's going to do yoga classes throughout the tour as well. So you can really kind of immerse yourself, and you're in her good care. She's a fantastic guide. So I'll be there for the first part of that tour. I'll join you for Delhi and potentially for Taj Mahal before I take off for Thailand. So, which leads me then to Thailand. And this has already been on sale for a little bit. Bangkok and Southern Thailand. This is a tour that I concocted while sitting in this very spot where I took this picture. I was sitting on the beach in January, and I was thinking about how much people love that part of the Thailand tour. They love it when we go to the beaches and the south part of Thailand. So I thought, well, why don't we come up with a tour that does that? And so what we decided to do was to put it right during President's Day weekend, that week where you get 2 days off. So if you have a job where you don't get a lot of days off, this tour, you'll only have to take like 3 days off of work to make it fit. And I did that on purpose because my son actually is going to come with me on this tour. He helped me to construct this tour. And so it really is a nice thing. It starts on a Saturday, ends the following Sunday, and that's on that President's Day holiday week. So it's a really good way to economize your days off. And it's going to be Bangkok for a couple days, and we're going to do some different things in Bangkok. If you've been with me to Bangkok, I'll be doing different things. And then we're going to go down to a different part of Southern Thailand. So if you've been with me before, you're going to see new stuff. If you've never been before, you're going to see my favorite parts of Thailand. So that's going to be great, and a wonderful cold weather escape in deepest, darkest February. Did I ever tell you, Andrew, my theory about February?
No, you haven't. I mean, that's like always the month like where you're going to have a tour like this. I'm guessing that's your theory.
No, my theory is that I am never allowed to end a relationship, quit a job, or change jobs, or get a new haircut in February, because I'm always starved of vitamin D and I do crazy things. So
okay, that makes sense. But
yeah.
I think it's always a good idea to probably have Southeast Asia in February. Just
from
what I remember of Seattle, necessary.
It's a great escape. So yeah, you bring your swimsuit for that one, because we're going to be snorkeling, we're going to be laying on the beach, we're going to be doing all kinds of things. So that is really going to be a super fun one. And then same time frame, Andrew is going to be going to Jordan for the first time. You must be excited about that.
I have to say, I think this is the one I'm excited about the most, because I know Jordan is just so mysterious. Other than obvious, I have the obvious Indiana Jones fascination, as a lot of people do, but all the photos I've seen just look incredible.
Yeah. So this is a tour that my friend Mohammed and I kind of concocted as we've been traveling together the last couple of years. He is just a fantastic guide. And he kept saying, I don't see why you come to Jordan for 3 days. You could come for 6, 7, 8, 9 days. And there's so much more to do. So that's what we've done, is constructed a tour that really takes you to see the highlights. So we'll see Wadi Rum, we'll see Petra, we'll go to the Dead Sea, we'll go down to Aqaba, which is the Red Sea. And then we'll also see Amman and visit and do a cooking class class at Amman. Jordanian food is fantastic. And you'll visit the Roman site of Jerash. So there's just some amazing things. There's also some biblical sites we're going to throw in there because it is right bordering Israel. And if you are interested to continue on to Israel, we can facilitate you getting to Jerusalem from the end of the tour. So this is really an absolutely fantastic tour also for the price point, because I think that Mohammed has some pretty nice taste. He's picked out hotels like the W Hotel, for example. So you guys are going to be living high on the hog on that tour. Some really beautiful hotels.
I cannot wait for the cooking class.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's Jordan, and that's a standalone tour, just a standalone Jordan tour. But after that, if you want, you can continue on. That's February 28th to March 6th. You can continue on from there if you wish to join me in Egypt. So Hoda and I are going to kick off with our very first Egypt-only tour. So it's a 13-day tour, I think it is, just under 2 weeks with Hoda and I, and it's a level up Egypt tour. So we're going to be staying in much nicer hotels. We're going to be doing a Nile cruise that is a really top quality one, like a 5-star Nile cruise. We're going to be including some activities like the hot air ballooning over the Valley of the Kings. And then at the very end, and we're going to go to the Old Cataract Hotel for tea, which will be really fun. So we're staying in some really cool places that are very characteristic. And at the end of the tour, after you've had a lot of input and Egypt is kind of tiring, we're going to finish on the Red Sea, and we're going to rent a yacht and take you out on a yacht. And at that time of year in March, it's warm enough to swim in the Red Sea. So you can bring your snorkel and swim gear for that as well. And we're going to stay in Hurghada, which is a beautiful beach town in Egypt on the Red Sea. So totally new itinerary. And I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun. So it goes from Cairo down to Aswan, cruise up to Luxor, and then we drive from Luxor to Hurghada, and then we fly back to Cairo. So it's a big loop. And I think this is really going to be fantastic. So I hope you will join Hoda and I for the inaugural edition.
That sounds fantastic. If only I could somehow get on an Egypt tour, that would be great.
I wonder about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a way we could work that in.
We might be able to figure that out. Yeah. So Florence is going to come back again this next year. By the way, if you want to go to Florence with me, we still do have some spots on our Florence tour for this coming fall in October. I think we have 3 or 4 spots left on that. So if you'd like to travel with me to Florence, you can this year. Next year, we're going to continue with our wonderful Florence staycation, and it's going to be helmed by my friend Elizabeth Franchetti, who is a hoot. She's an absolutely fantastic local Florence guide, and she's going to be helming that one for the first time. So that will be great. She actually local guides on the Florence tour for us now. So she's going to take that itinerary over for next year. So wonderful choice if you want to do that in March, and that's before all the crowds come. That's why we scheduled it then, because according to her expertise, that's going to be one of the quietest weeks. We're going to have, museums more to ourselves than we would the rest of the year. And then we have also that same time.
And one of the things we should point out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I was going to say one thing we should point out is unlike the last couple of years, a lot of our tours only have one set time slot. So we won't be having like spring and fall of the same tours to start with.
Yeah, some of them we will, but most of them we won't. We're just going to have one because we want to offer more variety. So there won't be quite as many departures. But we do have a new option for people who need to travel on their own schedule that we'll talk about at the end as well. So coastal Turkey, Andrew, what's up with coastal Turkey this year?
Coastal Turkey, it's the same great tour that you did last October with Thailand, and Thailand was of course our guide for that, and the Southeast Turkey tour. So coastal Turkey's going again. So also great time to go because you're gonna avoid the heat and avoid the crowds there. So yeah, and I think everyone kind of knows Thailand, but we'll see Thailand again pretty soon. He's a busy guy, but I want to have him on sometime this month so we can talk a little bit more about this and some other stuff that might get released a little later for next year in Turkey.
Cool. That's great. Yeah, this is a wonderful tour. If you've been thinking about going to Turkey, it's something very different. It's sort of like Greek Turkey, I guess you could say. There's tons of Roman sites. There's Ephesus, but there's Bodrum also, which is just an absolutely gorgeous port town. So if you've wanted to kind of see a little bit of like Mediterranean Turkey, this is your chance. It's a great tour. And then in April, we're going to be having Emilia Romagna. That will be the second departure of this tour. The first one is this fall with Andrew and I, which is sold out, but Lisa is going to be hosting the one for next year. And so far, Andrew, we've got what? We've got Ravenna, Bologna, the countryside, and then Parma. Is that correct?
And Parma, yes, we've got some amazing producers. We have cooperative olive oil cooperative that does DOP oil. We've got a natural winemaker. We've got, of course, great balsamic. We've got we go to the place where they take the cheese from the milk from the red cows for Parmesan cheese. So we've got a lot of great little producers there. And then we've got 3 or 4 main cities to see, or main towns, I guess, maybe by Italian standards. So it's going to be, this is probably be extra stretchy pants. I mean, because I was just there last month, and it's extra stretchy pants for sure.
Yeah, and we have some great hotels for this as well. So nice hotels. This is going to be a really easygoing tour, mostly focused on food and wine and that kind of thing. So if you've done a lot of things in Italy, you probably haven't done a lot of this stuff. And Bologna is really a hot destination right now. So I think everybody's going to really love that. If you're not sure about this tour, I'll be doing lots of coverage of this when we do the tour this coming fall. And then Andrew's got a brand new project on the boards. Tell us about this one.
Estonia, you know, I wanted some other place in Eastern Europe, and this was a place I traveled to like the first time I ever went traveling, and I really dug it. And it has it's retained a lot of its culture and art, things like that. It's as I said before, it's a little bit like you take some of the things people love about our Romania tour and mix it up with I kind of think it's like a little bit like Slovenia. It's very beautiful, very green, everything's on a very small scale. And I have a great friend from there who's part of kind of a very small indigenous group of people, and they have their own language and culture. And so we're going to go around to all sorts of villages and towns and nature spots, and really just take in a whole world that people know nothing about. And I really want to do something different with the Baltics, rather than just say, let's stick 3 capital cities together and call it good. So this is something I think wholly unique that no one else has.
Cool. And that's what we love to do around here, is we love to kind of offer tours you won't find anyplace else. So this is definitely one of those wonderful tours. And speaking of things nobody else is doing, we have a tour that honestly, I don't know any other company doing what we're doing. This is Romania, which I think is, I don't know if I call it a pet project for Andrew and I, but it's a destination that we have a real commitment to. We've been running groups of 4 or 5 people the last couple of years because it's not super popular, but everybody that goes on it comes home and says the same thing, that they think it's one of the best tours they've ever done. So highly recommend. If you are thinking about doing something a little bit different, maybe Romania is not at the top of your list, but it is wonderful. And it's during Orthodox Easter, right?
Yep. So you get a lot of music and traditions and other things like that going on in this one part of Romania that just is unlike any place else in Europe. And Sarah and I know that, and everyone who goes on the tour knows it. It's just one of those just completely unique spots. And you get to observe just people doing what they've been doing for centuries.
If you've ever thought to yourself when you're walking around anywhere, Prague or Vienna or something, and you thought to yourself, geez, tourism has gotten out of control and I can't stand being around so many other tourists. Well, Romania is your destination, right? It really is. It's sort of like the last unspoiled corner of Europe. I mean, like I told you, when I went on that tour, for me, it was like time travel. It wasn't just like travel to a destination. It was time travel.
Yes, and our guide George is great. And just a quick shout out to Linda and other folks who donated some money. George helps out the Ukrainian refugees, and we just sent him a little bit more to help out. And I'm going to have a wonderful story about one of the refugee families he's helped out that are actually moving back to Ukraine now. So thank you for everyone who's helped in the last year, and thanks to George, who's really done so much work in Romania for his neighbors.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I love about what we do here at Adventures with Sarah, because it's not Adventures with Sarah, actually. It's Sarah and her friends and these remarkable people that Andrew knows, remarkable people I know that do things like this, and making sort of a difference and helping the destinations that we're going to. I think that's always a priority for us, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it really, I mean, let's face it, we have some really wonderful partners all over the globe that we get to work with.
Yeah, we're very fortunate that way. All right, moving along, Venice Staycation. So this was one of the very first tours that we kicked off our Adventures with Sarah adventure with. And the people who were on that just couldn't believe how much fun it was. And so I want to run that tour again myself. And this is entirely selfish. I've decided to put the Venice Staycation on the calendar for early May of next year, because that is right after the opening of the Biennale. The Biennale is the contemporary art exhibition that fills the city of Venice for several months every other year. And I absolutely love it. So we're going to incorporate contemporary art into that tour. It won't be every day. We're of course going to do the stuff that you expect. We're going to do the Doge's Palace. We're going to do St. Mark's. We're going to do the rowing lesson where everybody gets to go out on a gondola and learn how to row a gondola. We're going to do a cicchetti crawl, all the classic things that I love doing with people in Venice because it's just such a good tour. But then we're going to add into that a day at the Biennale, and we'll have an art expert with us to help us to explain contemporary art. And if you've never been to the Biennale, it is like Disneyland for art lovers. So it's hard to explain, but it's something that is very unique, and I'm excited to take people. And by the way, this is 100% going to sell out. This is probably the most popular tour that so far this season, and we don't have a lot of spots left. So if you're interested in doing this Venice Staycation with me, it's the only one I'm offering next year. And it's in a very special time, but we definitely are going to sell out. So if you're interested in this, yeah, you're going to want to book ASAP on that. You should come on over, Andrew,
I gotta see. I think I'll be back from Estonia by the time this happens. So yeah, well, when I'm only like 2 hours drive away, I honestly have no excuse.
You have no excuse. Yeah. And this is such a great tour. Honestly, I mean, it's one of the few tours I think about, and it's like, I don't need to change that tour at all. I don't need to improve anything. It is so spot on. It's just really, it's a great tour. So
that was our first staycation I think we ever did coming out of pandemic. Yep.
It was the first
August.
Yep. And people loved it. All right, and then moving on, we've got Morocco, and that's going to be right after the Venice Staycation. And that is a tour that actually Andrew and Muna cooked up, and we ran the first edition this year. And we're going to run it again next year. And what I think this is an interesting sort of difference to make between this and what I have been doing. Reed, my friend over Imprint Tours, he's still offering his classic Morocco tour. We're going to be doing a Morocco tour that definitely is a slower pace. We've kind of cut down the itinerary a little bit, so there aren't as many travel days. So it's focusing like 3 days in Fes, which is a place I really think deserves more than a day and a half. We're going to be doing more days in Marrakesh. And then we're adding on Essaouira, which is a new destination for this tour. So tell us a little bit about that, Andrew.
It's a town on the Atlantic Ocean. I went there last year with my son. I just saw some pictures. Okay, it looks like a nice, pretty town. It's not overrun with tourism. It was what I thought North Africa was going to be like, because it has a nice mishmash of like everyone in Morocco and other places and expats from Europe there. It has got one of the coolest vibes. Seriously, Sarah, if I go back there again, I'm going to go apartment shopping. That's what I thought.
So the first Adventures with Sarah's house is going to be in Essaouira then, is that right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that might happen.
So this hotel is going to this tour is again going to have upper scale hotels. We've chosen beautiful, really nice hotels for this. And this does also include an excursion out to the Sahara Desert. So if you saw the camel ride and you saw the desert camping that I just did last month, and if that appeals to you, that will be a part of this tour as well. So it's a little bit more compact tour. And Muna told me something really great. She said that the people that we work with, the ground agents there, the head of the itinerary department looked at this itinerary and was like, wow, this is a great tour. So we've even impressed the actual tour operators within Morocco, because they think this is a really good, tight itinerary. So
I'm good props to Muna for coming up with this.
Yes, Muna is absolutely magnificent. She's really good at what she does. So I'm excited to offer this. So I'll be with her on this for at least part of the tour. I don't know yet how long I'll stay. I'll at least be there for the first few days in Fes, because Fes is, of course, my favorite place to go. That and Marrakesh. And I have to do a hammam at some point. So we'll see. I'll see how long I stay on that tour. And then you've got Veneto and Slovenia next year again.
I do. It's funny. It's going to happen this year in about 10 days from now. So, yep, this one really has no changes from what's happening this year. It is kind of like the 10-day dinner party. We've got we got some great little caves and castles, goat cheese tasting, prosecco wine, all sorts of really cool small places in Veneto that most people have never been to. I'm surprised they're not more popular than they are. And then we've got a nice time at the end of the tour in Ljubljana and Lake Bled. This is the first tour we ever ran together. It's a classic. I mean, what more can I say?
And now this was the dark horse for this year, wasn't it? Because this tour, for some reason, like almost completely sold out, which was really a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I guess, but I think there's tours that like people aren't like, oh, I have to go to Veneto and Slovenia, but then they look at it and they're like, and then they might go, oh yeah, all those other people who went on it, they were like raving about it. So yeah, it takes a little slow building up, but yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So this is great, especially if you love eating, and we have such nice people in our groups. It's just a lot of fun to eat and drink and enjoy. This is very much slow travel. I would call this the slow travel tour.
Yeah.
And then moving on into May, we have our pair of Sicily tours. I'm only going to offer Sicily once next year. So if you're interested in doing Sicily, I'm going to do it in May. I've decided to do it a little bit into the middle of the year instead of in the spring, because I would like to go swimming. So again, completely selfish, but we'll have some nice weather, I'm sure. So we're going to do Sicily highlights May 22nd to 30th. And it's that kind of pair of tours. You can do one or the other. The highlights is going to be the classic things you should see if you've never been to Sicily. The second tour, which is another 8 days, we'll do all the things that are kind of off the beaten path. We do a cooking class. We scale Mount Etna. We just kind of do some really lovely things. We go out for a boat ride. We end in a beach town. So if you really enjoy just sort of relaxation, the second tour, which is called Sicilian Pleasures, that one is probably a good choice for you. So that's the only time I'm offering those next year, though. I don't have any other time in my schedule. So if you're interested, that is your chance. And then after that, the other thing we are offering again next year, due to absolutely popular demand, is another departure for Ireland. My friend Stephen McPhillamy is going to be running the first edition with me and my dad. Oof, God help us, in about a month. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, if everybody has all their fingers and toes by the time we're done, we'll be happy to run another edition, right?
I think people will be talking about the tour you're doing with your dad for years to come.
Yeah,
In
well,
good ways, I think, but we'll see.
And I'll just tell you right up front, my dad is already campaigning to just go and do the Ireland tour again and be the guest star on all of the Ireland tours in the future. So we'll see how it goes. But you never know. My dad might pop up on another Ireland tour in the future, but let's just get him through one before we make that decision. I'm afraid that with his bad sense of humor, he's going to get me sued or something. So let's keep that there. Okay, so next one.
What's this? What is this?
Oh, what is this? Well, next year there's a birthday that is a little bit more, let's say, momentous birthday than other birthdays, and I'm going to decline to say exactly what the number is, but it's a rather large number. And to commemorate this rather large number, we've decided to do a very special thing, because I thought to myself, if for this big birthday, what do I want to do? I did think about going on and walking the Camino and, praying a lot. That was going to be one of my options. And then I thought, what do I really want to do? I think I really want to be laying on a beach in Greece, drinking a glass of wine with my kids. That's kind of what I really want to do. And so that's what we're doing. And Andrew's going to come. My parents are going to come. My kids are going to come. And what we're going to do is we're going to rent a yacht. And this is a pretty outrageous thing for us to do. We're shopping for yachts right now. This is why we don't have a finalized exact date and exact price, because we haven't found the yacht of our dreams yet, but we are looking. So the idea will be 3 days in Athens to start with. So on arrival day, we're going to do a field trip day. We haven't decided exactly where, but it might be a surprise. And then we're going to have a 1 day doing the sights of Athens, Acropolis and all of that. And then we're going to get on to the yacht and we're going to sail, and you'll sleep aboard the yacht for 7 days. And we'll have a chef and all of that. So they'll make really nice food. We can stop and we can swim wherever we want. We can visit any islands we want. And then we're going to finish in Crete. They're going to drop us off in Crete, and we'll have a few days in Crete at the very end, which is a wonderful place. If you've never been, a little bit more of an off the beaten path version of Greece. So we don't know exactly the dates. We don't know exactly the price, because it's probably going to be quite expensive. We're guessing it's going to be about $500 per person per day, because the yacht itself is extraordinarily expensive. But so what we're doing, because we're not 100% sure, it's going to be the second half of June. We're not 100% sure about anything, is we're just taking a wait list right now. So if you are interested in joining us for this tour, we're going to take names in the order in which we received them. So if you are interested in doing this, get on the wait list today. And then as soon as we have everything firmed up and a price, we're going to let you know, and then we'll open up signups then. So are you excited, Andrew?
I think the only thing we know for sure is it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic in so many ways. It's going
to be epic. Yeah.
I mean, like maybe the Ireland tour this year will be the one everyone's talking about for various reasons, but next year everyone will be like, did you go to Sarah's crazy birthday bash in Greece?
Yeah,
so
it's going to be a lot of fun. One thing to know about it is that it is going to be not our typical group size, because to get a yacht, how many cabins do we have on the yacht? I can't remember.
Probably 3 times as many as we normally would have on any kind of group. I mean,
yeah, so the group could be upwards of 40 people, because I think when we looked at them, most of them you needed to have between like 35 and 50 people. So it's going to be a lot more people than usual, but everybody's going to be there. We're going to have a Greek guide with us. You're going to have me and Andrew. So you're going to have more guides than anybody needs. So if we need to split the group up into bits, we can do that as well. So anyway, this is very exciting. I'm very happy to be doing this. My friend Dawn, who is working with us, has lived in Crete, and so she's working really hard to put this together. So if you're interested, just go ahead and click on that link there, and you can put your name on the wait list. So we've got how many on the wait list already? About 40?
We have upwards of 30, I think, right now at least. So
yeah. So if you're interested, please get on there. Yeah, because that's going to be super popular once we actually get that ready to go. All right, and then between late June and September, right now, we don't have anything. That might change, but for right now, we don't have anything scheduled. I am in Iceland right now, and I'm having a blast. So kind of like, So there may be some things added towards the end of the season for next summer, just depending on how things go. If you are interested in Iceland or Scotland, perhaps, you're welcome to email us, and I'll start taking a kind of list to see where the demand is of what you're interested in, and we may add something there in the summertime. But in September, we have a very special tour. This is going to be the first edition of our Japan tour. Andrew, you want to talk about that?
Yes, this is something I didn't actually think it would happen. I didn't even think I'd ever get to go to Japan, but it's gonna be something. I think it'll be something very, very new for Adventures with Sarah. And I'm so excited to go, and I think I actually will finally get that. We'll get my Japanese language app and be like, okay, now I'm going. I love their culture, and I'm so interested in their films and stuff like that. I will start learning a little bit of Japanese so I could show some respect. But I think it's a once in a lifetime thing. At least for me, it is for sure.
Yeah, so that is going to be fantastic in September, and it's going to be from the south of Japan, working your way back to Tokyo, and you'll finish in Tokyo. And from there, you can extend for more time in Tokyo, or you can go north in Japan if you want to spend more time. This, again, is not an inexpensive tour. And the other thing I want to mention about it is 2 of the nights are spent at an onsen, which is a traditional Japanese home, and you will sleep on a futon on a tatami mat. So that's just something people should know. It's not going to be Western style accommodations the entire tour, but it is a really special thing to stay in an onsen, which is also has steam baths and things like that. So anyway, you can have a look at the itinerary. It's pretty dang cool. We worked really hard on that, so I'm excited about that. And we had an expert on Japan help us with it. So
Yeah, that can't hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. Then also in the fall, we're going to have again another edition of Puglia and Basilicata with Lisa Anderson. She is doing that tour right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think today might be wrapping it up, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean, because I've been seeing all of our favorite spots pop up for the last week and a half on social media from her current Puglia tour. So
yeah, so this has been a very popular tour for us. Puglia and Basilicata are parts of Italy. That's the heel of the boot. And it's beautiful. And especially at the end of September, you'll have an opportunity to swim and enjoy beautiful weather. We do cooking. We do all kinds of things. You get to stay in a trullo, which are one of those little stone huts. So if you love Italy and you haven't been to the south very much, this is something very special. And I think you'll leave there wanting to see even more of the south because it's just really very charming. So that's going to be September 20th. And then right after that, if you want to stick around, you can hit the Rome staycation. Am I doing that? I think I'm doing that, right?
yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. My name's not on it. So yeah, I think that's me. I love doing the Rome staycation. Rome is my favorite place in the whole wide world. So I love having my my opportunity to be a resident for a week. We stay at a great hotel that's in a really super secret little location. And I'm joined by a bunch of wonderful guides like my friend Agnes Crawford, who's just a lot of fun. So this tour is just a classic if you have never been really and spent a lot of time in Rome. But I'll warn you, the pitch on this tour is this. It's the Rome tour without the Colosseum or the Vatican Museum. I refuse to take people to either of those because they're not good experiences. So I'm going to take you to do other things. We're going to go, instead of to the regular part of the Roman Forum, we're going to do the Palatine, and we're going to get to learn about the palaces of the emperors. We're going to see the Colosseum from the outside, but if you want to go in, we can help facilitate that stuff for you. Vatican Museum, I just don't want to be doing with groups, but we can help people that want to do that stuff. But really what it is it's a trip about Rome, a week in Rome, for people that maybe have seen Rome already. You've seen that stuff already, but you want to dig in deeper and get to know a local's point of view, which I guess I'm kind of a local in Rome, aren't I?
I think you count.
Yeah, I think I count. So anyway, so that's a real, the pitch on that one is it's great. You'll love it. You should go. Andrew, Harvest Tour, that's it's great, you'll love it, you should go, right?
Yes, it's double or triple stretchy pants on the rating system. It's 7 days in Slovenia, 3 days in northern part of Croatia. It's meeting all sorts of interesting people, producers, and learning about traditions. I mean, there's way more to eating and drinking. In fact, I want to say, even though you eat and drink fantastic on this, you don't have to be a foodie. You don't have to be a wine expert. You could just want to have a great time and listen to all these people tell you the stories of what they've been doing their whole life or what they're passionate about. So it is you cannot lose going on this tour. And the first 3 nights are at such a cool lodging, like almost like little cabins in a forest. It's kind of somewhere between glamping and boutique hotel in the forest, next to this wonderful little wine region. So yeah, this is like my favorite thing to do,
cool.
Obviously.
And this one actually has some room on it for this coming fall too, so you could do it in 2020.
Yeah, I think we sold a couple seats in the last few weeks. So we've got about 7 or 8 spots open for 2024. But we've already got some folks on it, but it is kind of limited because, Sarah, sometimes when we do these really special lodgings, it just limits us with, how many we could take. So I want to start out the tour with this place in the forest. So yeah, we don't have that many spots, less so than some other tours.
Yeah, so that's another one you need to book soon if you're going to do it. And then moving into October, Lisa Anderson again is going to be offering her Piedmont staycation. So she's only doing it once next year. And that's in October. And that has been getting so many good evaluations. People really enjoy it. You stay in Cuneo, which is a little tiny town in Piemonte. And Lisa lives quite near there. And so she basically shows you all of her favorite places that she goes to in her daily life. And you also get to go to Torino, which is really an interesting city that's a little bit underrated. They have one of the best Egyptian museums in the world. They have multiple palaces. The kings of Italy all came from Torino. So this is a great tourist. And it also is like a 2 stretchy pants kind of icon there, don't you think?
Yes, I mean, just looking at all the places they go on that tour. Yeah, well, that's another one of those, oops, I better get over there right away kind of things. It's not so far from where I'm at.
Well, and this is also one of these regions that's starting to become slowly more known. And so more and more people are going. But if you are done with being in touristic areas, Piemonte is a really good escape because you really, in some cases, will end up in places where they just don't see a lot of foreigners. And I always think that's a nice way to travel.
Yeah, I think that's a big plus.
Yeah. And then we have our Vintner Select Umbria. And this is, again, a little bit of a mystery tour. So we're not really going to give you too much information other than to say it's going to be a staycation. We're going to stay at a farmhouse in Umbria. And I have been asked to do this for probably 6 or 7 years. People have been asking me to do this because I know this area very, very well. So we'll visit Orvieto. We're going to visit, the image is the Cascata della Marmora, which is a waterfall that was made by the Romans. There's all kinds of cool things that we can see. So what it actually may end up being is a tour a little bit without an itinerary. We'll stay at a farmhouse. I'll have a loose plan, but every day we'll decide kind of where we're going to go. One of my thoughts is I'd love to take people out to Tarquinia and to Cerveteri to see the Etruscan tombs. There's Beaumarchais Monster Park. There's all the papal palaces down in northern Lazio. There's just too much. But one thing I can guarantee you, there will be wine. So are you coming?
I'd like to. I got to check my schedule, but I do think I have enough time off in October where I could sneak that in. So, and
Right.
I've stayed here before, like 20 years ago. I think you gave me her agriturismo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've been back in Umbria. So I guess I should go.
And so when we call these vintners select, what that means is that instead of just signing up, you need to email us and we'll put you on a list. And then once they're prepared, we'll get you signed up. But they are a little bit mysterious. They're a little bit like Trust Me tours. So we'll give you a certain amount of information, but we're not going to give you all the details because they are new itineraries. And we want to kind of have the flexibility to sort of not really make it up as we go along. That's not the right way to say it, but to change plans and improve the tour as we go along. So if you go on this tour, you're just going to need to be really flexible and just say, you know what, Sarah's going to make sure we have a really good time. And I can guarantee you that will be true, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've found so many new little places to stick on this year's Vintner Select tour. And you know what? People next year when they go on the Emilia Romagna tour, they'll already know. But this year it'll be more surprises, and life is great when you've got some wonderful surprises there.
And this is something Andrew and I think we told you guys before, but something he and I had an idea about some years ago, which was that, tours are so organized and so laid out, and they give you too many details to the point where people that take tours, there's never any delight or surprise. And so this is kind of our effort to create the element of serendipity into a tour situation, which is kind of an opposing concept, right? But I think by not telling you everything, we have the ability to surprise you and, to make travel a little bit more sparkly, right?
Sparkly, that's a word I have not heard before used with us. Yes, I mean, I just think, Sarah, everyone's got too much information on so many levels, and I think you can just have too much information when you travel, and you're just ticking. Sometimes you tick things off even if you don't mean to, and it's best to just be like, well, we're going to see what we do today when we get there.
Yep, exactly. So that's when you see Vintner Select, we have 2 tours this year and 2 tours next year. That's basically what that means. That means that you're not going to get 100% all the details in advance. You're going to have to be willing to roll with the punches. So that's and the punches are good ones. And then on into October. Oh, look, Andrew gets to go to Egypt.
Ooh, finally, after 54 years.
So this is the same tour that Hoda and I are going to be doing in the spring. We are offering a second departure in October as well. These are fabulous times to go to Egypt because it'll be cooling down. And again, Hoda is she's a magical creature, I swear. So 2 opportunities. The groups are going to max out around probably 16 people. Probably we'll keep the groups between 10 and 16 people, which is a really nice small group. And we include so many wonderful things. So if you've ever dreamed of going to Egypt, I think we've got the right formula. Hoda and I have a lot of experience running tours in Egypt, and we've been trying to figure out a way to make it easy. So Andrew, it's going to be easy. You're going to love it.
Good. I'm great. I'm just going to show up and like, all right, Egypt, give it to me. except for like the crazy traffic in Cairo or whatever. Everything else, I think I'm ready for.
Yeah, we tried, but we could not smooth that out of the itinerary. But we make everything else easy. And actually, one of the hotels you're going to stay at is a Hyatt that has an incredible view of the pyramids. You can swim in the pool of the hotel and look at the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which is just like incredible. So I think you'll really enjoy that. And then moving on into November, oh, look, Andrew gets to go to Jordan again.
Oh my gosh, I just there. Oh my goodness. What's going on?
So you can connect these. So you might have noticed this is till October 31st, and then the Jordan tour starts on November 2nd. So you can do both of the tours if you wish, which is going to put you at around the 3-week mark. But the couple of days in between, you can stay in Cairo, or if you're interested in hitting Israel, you could fly to Tel Aviv or Jerusalem for a couple of days and add that to that whole sort of arc of travel right there if you're interested. All right, so that gets us to the end of our scheduled tours. Couple things. Number one, we might add something in December next year, right? We're not talking about that yet because we want to get to December this year first, but we're looking at
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll see. I will see how we're doing by the summertime if December one's going to work. But yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do our best and we're going to see what happens, but we're thinking we're going to add something potentially in December. There could even potentially be something in November. So just if you don't see what you're looking for here, and if maybe you're interested in, let's say, I don't know, Christmas markets, for example, hold on to your hat because eventually we're going to have something extra, but this is just our first pass at tours. So there may be some additions later on, but we have something new and exciting, which we're calling on-demand tours. So I just wanted to show you guys this. Our on-demand tours, oh, that didn't click to where I wanted it to go. On-demand tours are a new concept that we've come up with that Andrew and I thought would be really fun because so many times people look at this and then they go, oh, I'd love to do this Jordan tour, except for I can't go then. Well, that's fine. If you can put together at least 6 people, we can do a lot of our tours on demand. We can do it on your schedule. So over the next few weeks, we're going to start to develop these brochures that you can then download and you can share with your friends. You assemble the group, minimum 6 people. It can be up to 8, 10, 12 people as well. And then once you do that, then you'll be able to contact us and we will arrange a tour for you on your schedule, right?
It'll be great. I mean, because some of the things we can't fit everything in next year, especially with adding all these new tours. So some of the tours that we had this year we'll have as an on-demand thing, and then there'll be some other itineraries that we've run before, and we'll have those on as well. And yeah, it's great because really you could just let us know and we figure out like, hey, this works for our guide there. You know, these dates can work. And we're actually already doing this with a few people for next year on a Hungary Croatia tour. So yeah, it's and I used to do this all the time, Sarah. Some people like traveling with the people they know, and this is a great way. And 6 people, come on. It's like you got like you and your significant other and a few friends. That's 6 people right there.
Exactly. So if you've ever seen me on a tour that you think looks great and you would love to do it, you can contact us. Virtually every tour that we offer can be done as an on-demand tour, but we're going to put together a list for the website, which we'll have out in the next couple of weeks of the most common ones. We still do custom tours, which is that you contact us and say, I'd like to do X, Y, and Z, and we can put it together again for a minimum of 6 people. But I think it's a little bit easier when you say, oh, I do want to do that Jordan tour or that Egypt tour. Those look really great, but I can't do them on your timeline.
Yeah, this will be, I think, really, if we don't have something for people with all this and on demand, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think we've got I think we have something for everyone who's actually watching this live stream right now.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, so the only things missing so far for this schedule, one of the things we do offer, which I think is going to be an on-demand next year, is Tuscany, right? That we usually have them on the schedule.
Yes. Tuscany at Roberto's place, that will be on demand, because we have to kind of work with Roberto's busy schedule. But yeah, we'll have that basically same package we've been running the last 2 or 3 years as a staycation. We'll have that as on demand as well.
Yeah, exactly. So just to really quickly show you, and then I'll let everybody go, just how to book. So if you're ready to book, you can click on more info, and that's going to take you to the itinerary. So you can have a look at pricing, day by day shots of what you're actually going to be doing and seeing, and some absolutely delightful photography, right? Look at all that delightful photography. Lots of selfies. And then you can go ahead and you can hit the book now button. And what that's going to do is that's going to take you eventually to our booking engine. And now this is not on Adventures with Sarah. This is a separate piece of software called We Travel. And this is where you can go and you can book a spot. And what you need to do is you have a price here based on whether you're traveling with somebody or whether you're traveling by yourself. So this is the price for 2 people in a room. If you're by yourself, you can do single occupancy, and then it gives you the price for a single. And then you can go ahead and put down your $600 deposit this way. You can also download a little brochure, which we've actually put these together if you want to have something that you can show a friend you're trying to convince. It shows you all the different things that we do. And you just go ahead and do that. You just hit book now, and it'll show you how to pay the deposit, and then you're going to be all set and ready to go. Anything else people need to know about We Travel?
It's pretty easy peasy. But as always, sometimes people have a credit, or sometimes this, that, and the next thing. So people can email at info@adventureswithsarah.net or andrew@adventureswithsarah.net if you want to use a credit towards something else, things like that. So I can help set that up when you sign up, so it goes a little bit smoother.
Yep. So I think that's all we've got for you. We've got a whole lot of wonderful adventures for you next year. I have a little bit fewer tours next year on the calendar than I have this year, because I would like to really focus a lot on writing for you guys next year and producing more videos. But Andrew, we've got him out on the road a lot next year.
Yeah, I think this is going to be my busiest year on the road. So, and all these, I mean, Jordan, Egypt, Japan, Estonia, I mean, all sorts of Greece on a yacht, you know.
Yep.
I guess we'll have to do it. Yeah, not bad. Could be worse.
So if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, the best thing to do is to email us at info@adventureswithsarah.net. That will be answered by my assistant or potentially me or Andrew, depending on who picks up the email that day. And we're happy to coach you through any of this if you want more details or you need to know a little bit more on how to book. But $600 deposit, and I think that, and it's a non-refundable deposit. Final payment is due 3 months out. 3 months.
2 months. 2 months out.
2 months out. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I think that is it. I think it's just go, look, scour, choose your top 5, sign up for all 5. Why not?
Absolutely. So it's going to be a really exciting travel. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to all of them. I think they're all going to be a lot of fun. And also, if you didn't see something today that you were hoping for, please go ahead and put a comment into the video, because we'd like to hear from you about that. I know that Iceland, for example, is one that people might have wanted. I might be persuaded to add more things to the calendar next year, but I need to know what it is that you're interested in doing. So if you didn't see something you were wishing for, go ahead and drop it in the comments on this video, and we will definitely take that into consideration when we finish out adding to the tour schedule later this year. Okay.
And it's never too early to even think about 2025. So
yes,
got some ideas out there, throw them out there, because we're already throwing darts at the 2025 board. So
And particularly if you ever want to do a customer private group with me or Andrew, because we're both so busy, if you want to have us as your guide, you do need to book minimum a year to 2 years in advance so that you can make sure that you get us on the schedule, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of busy.
All right, well, I think that's all we've got. We've got everybody up to date on the 2024 tours. Have a lot of fun shopping and dreaming, and please do ask questions. But I'm so excited. I think the thing I'm most excited for is Japan next year. What are you most excited for?
Okay, I won't pick Japan because you picked Japan. I'm gonna go with Jordan because you talked this Mohammed guy up and all the
Oh.
lodgings, and I got the cooking class there. So yeah.
You're going to
Something.
float around the Dead Sea. It's really awesome. You're going to love that.
I can make a comment about if I keep eating, I'm gonna just kind of float wherever, but yeah, perfect. Can't wait.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, today.
Thanks.
And again, you can go to adventureswithsarah.net and you'll see the link right there on the homepage for 2024 tours. So, all right, Andrew, we have to figure out when we're going to see each other. I hope soon, right?
Yeah, I know. That's it. It's like, and not on a Zoom call, like actual,
Not on
like,
a Zoom call.
like real, maybe polio. I think maybe in Italy.
Okay,
soon.
in Italy,
Okay.
and we'll toast to the 2024 season. So anyway,
Definitely. All right,
thanks
safe
for joining
travels
us.
back. Bye.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao.